General Failure podcast is now being calibrated for your listening pleasure.
Welcome to episode 180 of the General Failure podcast for the week of May 22nd, 2019, brought to you by RadioHaver.com. This week, Batman gets sparkly, we can't fix your keyboard, and call the police. Actually, nobody cares. I'm TJ, and I've got with me Dom.
I got a Twizzler in my mouth.
And CJ.
Want a broken keyboard? You get a broken
keyboard. We're eating stale Twizzlers because
and then you buy a kneeboard.
Sad.
Yeah, I hope everyone's excited because we're just going to hear us eating Twizzlers.
Like Twizzlers that are just about almost like bad.
We got to finish this whole bag by the time the episode's over.
Oh, God.
If all the
that's too much
Twizzlers
sugar
stick
at
together,
this
does
point.
it count as one Twizzler?
Yep.
It's like a cheese fry.
Eat that giant fucking Twizzler.
Oh,
Stuff
God,
it in
I
there.
heard that. So we'll start off like we usually do with what are you playing, Dom?
So I've been playing the Castlevania Anniversary Collection.
Which has?
It has Castlevania 1 and 2 and 3 and Super Castlevania.
And the show?
And the show on Netflix. It's got Castlevania Bloodlines. It has Castlevania 2 Simon's Revenge, the Game Boy game, I think. Mm-hmm. And it has...
I thought they were all Game Boy games.
No, there's like no Game Boy games.
Oh.
They're all NES and SNES.
I guess because they were always like 2D side-scroller platformers.
You just think everything's on Game Boy?
Yep.
You're like a mom. Doesn't matter what the system is. Put your Nintendo down, kids. And it has Kid Dracula, which I think this might be the first time it's ever been released in English.
Castlevania Jr.?
Oh, that's cool.
Castlevania Jr. So I have it on Switch, but I think it's available for everything. And that's
cool.
I mean, obviously, it's Castlevania, so it's fucking awesome. And really, really hard. Castlevania is really hard, if anyone didn't know. I was playing Super Castlevania, which is the Castlevania 4 for Super Nintendo, and that game is so good.
I love that age where they just added Super to every fucking
They did it with the N64 too. They just put 64 on everything.
64, Paper Mario 64.
Yeah. There was no such thing as Paper Mario 64. It was just Paper Mario. While you suck on your Twizzler.
That's gross. You can't do that in public.
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it.
It's Castlevania.
Yeah, it's Castlevania. It's just, a collection of all the classic games, and they're still as hard as they were.
How much did that come out to?
I think it was only like $20 or something. So
that's not bad.
It's not too bad for a collection of 8 games, 6 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Early access games cost a lot more.
Exactly.
And those usually suck.
Yeah. Castlevania 4 is probably... I don't think it's the best Castlevania game. Most people do think it is. I think Symphony of the Night is the best Castlevania game, but that's not part of it because that was on PlayStation. That was, separate from all like the Castlevania main series.
Oh, okay. It was just like the...
Yeah, but this is all the classic ones. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, which is fucking awful. Like...
How so?
It's a completely different game. The Castlevania is, jump, platforming, whipping. Castlevania 2 is like more of an RPG. So you have to like go and talk to people in town, and you have to like send
it's just like a completely
buy
different
items.
game,
it's a completely different type of game, and some people like it, some people don't.
You want one of these?
No, I'm good.
But it's really fucking it's just different and really hard to that point where like I was like walking through and I found some enemies and they just like massacred me. I didn't even stand a chance.
You want to know what else is difficult and hard to a point?
The Twizzler.
So I don't really like Castlevania 2 that much. I do like Castlevania 1. I really like Castlevania 3 because you get to play as 4 different characters.
Oh, that's cool.
4.
So it like changes.
Yeah.
And do they have different skills or is it just
they have different like abilities. Each one has like a magic power and different skills and stuff. That one though is like notorious for being insanely
difficult.
hard. Yeah.
Like Dark Souls kind of shit.
Exactly. Like that shit's like Dark Souls before Dark Souls.
I feel like if you like the multiple playing the multiple characters, Devil May Cry 5. Like you play
I need
3
to play
different characters.
Jeez.
And it actually works really well because you're playing the characters at like almost the same exact times. It's a lot of fun.
If you really also like playing different characters, don't ever play Resident Evil 6 because that game fucking sucks.
Is that the racist one or is that 4?
No, that's 5 was the racist one.
5 was the racist
6
one.
was the one where you played as Leon, you also played as Chris, and you played as Wesker's son, and the whole game was stupid. That game like legitimately gave me headaches. I was getting like motion sick playing it.
Which is crazy. At this day and age.
But I was like, at some point, I was just like, I just gotta finish the game because it's Resident Evil and I love Resident Evil. But Jesus Christ, it was not
when you have to
not fun.
When you feel nauseous playing the game and just hate it, want to get to the end, there's something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fuck.
I feel like I need to segue here.
Segue your mother.
Yeah.
You can seg me if you want.
Just because, like you mentioned, Castlevania and Netflix, and I don't think you guys talked about this last week when I was gone. The thing that Netflix is now getting into the video game, not necessarily the video game industry, but like they're creating a lot of. I mean, they're giving money to companies to create games based on their own
IPs.
shows. Yeah, their own IP.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's
That's
going to be
not
like a Stranger Things video game coming out.
Yeah.
But I think that's interesting with the fact that like Castlevania is like so well received on, their service and
Yeah, but it'd be nice if they touch on stuff that isn't already IPs.
yeah.
Like
Also,
IPs
yeah, they would
for
have
video games.
Yeah, they would have no control over the game because Konami still owns it.
Yeah. And Konami's not going to let that shit go.
Well, see, here's the thing: is I hope this game.
They don't got much left.
Right. I hope this game sells well because I would really like Konami to be like, wow, people really do want Castlevania. Let's make another Castlevania. But instead, they're going to say, hey, people really like Castlevania. Let's make more fucking Plinko machines.
Yeah. When did the last Castlevania come out, though?
Gotta be fucking.
I don't know.
Really?
I think the last Castlevania game might have been for DS.
Huh.
Like Dawn of Sorrow or one of those
like
weird
probably
one
an
of those
original
games.
DS.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like
it's probably
been
like 2003.
It's been a long fucking time since a Castlevania's come out.
Yeah.
It's sad to see a franchise die.
But
It's not even the franchise. Like it's sad to see it die. It's sad to see it murdered.
Yeah.
Like because it didn't have to die. It's not like Mega Man died because Mega Man wasn't good anymore.
Yeah.
Like you just couldn't go anywhere with it. Sonic won't die.
That's one of the games where you're just like, please just die already.
But like Castlevania still had.
won't you die?
Just stay with the Super Mario Olympic games.
Seriously, it's the only good
Apparently those
thing.
are really fucking good. though.
Apparently they are, and I'm just weirded out that they are.
Yeah, Castlevania has so much promise still. Like even if it's a 2D, side-scrolling Metroidvania type, like you can still do it. Other games are doing what Castlevania used to do successfully, and they're just not. They're just like, nah, like just do it.
It's like
do it.
It's like the only time a company isn't banking on like nostalgia and good gameplay, just to make
exactly just to make a quick buck. You think that?
Well, they
would.
make all the money in that pachinko machine. So
yeah. Is that what it was? Pachinko, not Plinko.
Plinko's from fucking what the fuck's that?
Plinko. It's just
from Price is Right.
Price is Right. There you go.
So there was Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 in
They're not
2014.
really called pachinko machines, are they?
Yes, they are pachinko machines. Yep.
It's a little racist. Isn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't think they were figuring it out at the time.
Was that self-racism?
I guess.
It is. I'm not even going that far.
2014 is the last Castlevania game. But Castlevania Lords of the Shadows 2, never played it. Probably have no interest in playing it because I'm sure it's stupid.
Probably. I mean, it's been how long since the last game? Well, besides that one, I hate you. So moving on from some decent Castlevania news to CJ, you got some Batman news?
Sure. So it has recently come out
Some Batsylvania.
some Batsylvania news. It has recently come out that the DCEU The Batman movie that was started in development in 2015, I believe, maybe even 2014, is still happening. It lost Ben Affleck as the director, then it lost Ben Affleck as the star,
actor.
as the actor, as Batman.
And then we just lost Ben Affleck when he killed himself.
Yeah. And then
Is Ben Affleck the longest running Batman for movies? No.
No. He's
No,
only
it
been
was-
in 2. He was in
He was in Batman vs. Superman.
And then Justice League.
Justice League.
Justice League,
Yeah,
right?
he's only in 2.
Was he even in Justice League?
And so it's
as far as movies,
Christian Bale.
it's still Christian Bale.
Yeah, he's got
still
which is
Christian Bale.
crazy. It's only been 3 movies.
That's the thing.
Like,
it's like
yeah.
it's
fucking nuts.
pathetic that it's only been 3 movies.
When there
And 2,
are,
and Ben
what?
Affleck is now in second place for doing 2 of them.
Yeah.
There are what, like 9?
Yeah,
Is there 4,
and they
then 5, 6, 7,
all
then
had
8,
different
then
actors
9,
in the
yeah.
beginning.
So Michael Keaton was in 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot Michael Keaton
Yeah,
was in 2.
2, yeah. But anyway,
I forgot those movies.
so there's
So
been
good.
George Clooney was in one of them. He was in the best
I
one.
wish I could forget that movie.
No, that's
Hey,
the
man.
best one.
There's been a lot of like there's just been a lot of shit coming out about the Batman movie and if it's still happening and what's going on with it and the fact that Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is he still Deathstroke? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, I feel like that's not changed since before they even announced the movie.
Yeah. And now we have Matt Reeves has officially signed on, who he was a part of the original script writing. So he is a part of the original team for the movie.
So most likely he's going to write the movie DC want, or Warner Brothers wants.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. But
Okay.
it has recently come out that Rob Pattinson will be or is the front runner. He is not
He hasn't-
officially chosen.
yeah, he hasn't signed
He is the
the deal,
front
but it's-
runner
Last I
for
heard-
Batman.
They told him in January he has been chosen.
There was something that came up in January, and they're saying because it came up again now, and a company released information in January, that it's probably true.
I don't think he's signed his side of the deal yet, but
Yeah.
they've written all the paperwork and
Yeah.
he's pretty much
And I
chosen.
think it was originally between Rob Pattinson and I can't remember his name. The kid who plays Beast in
the
the
werewolf in
Nick Holt.
Nick Holt.
Twilight?
Yeah.
Nicholas Holt.
Nick Holt was also.
Yeah, the other guy from Twilight. What's his name? Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob.
What the hell is that actor's name? Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
I've been thinking of, for some reason, like Twilight has been coming up for the past like few months for me. I can never remember that motherfucker's name until right now.
Because he was only in one other movie and everyone forgot what it was.
Yeah, that movie where he was like an action star.
He was running.
Yep.
Fun fact about that movie: my college professor, his
Is
son,
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, his son wrote the
Actually,
script for
oh,
that.
I
movie.
knew that when that was coming out. You
Yeah,
told me that.
Yeah, he sold the script and then they completely just
Butchered it.
fucked it up. And he's like, well, I guess I got paid.
I mean, Rob Pattinson, thinking of it,
Now,
like,
here's the thing. We still don't know what this movie is going to be centered around. We don't know if it's going to be in an alternate universe. We don't know if this is Batman a la Dick Grayson. We don't know if this is a young Bruce Wayne and they're just retconning everything. Like, we have no idea
or
what's
just
going
like
on.
every other Batman movie, then just
Yeah.
retcon
Yeah.
the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
It's just a different
I mean,
actor.
almost guarantee that the first shot is going to be
The pearls hitting the ground.
right. Exactly.
Fuck.
Martha
Now-
and John Wayne.
Now
getting shot.
remember, Robert Pattinson was in that movie that ended with 9/11.
That's true.
That is true. Maybe this will too. He's like, I'm Batman, and then a fucking plane just flies in the World Trade Center. I was like, wait a second.
Talk about shitty movie endings,
Oh
man.
my god, shit! Like so fucking 180 from the rest of that movie.
It
It's
doesn't even make
crazy.
sense.
Yeah,
it
it
had
does-
nothing to do with the rest of the
No, it
movie.
did not. It
Literally.
just literally could not think of an ending and went,
Let's just kill him.
9/11.
How should we kill him? 9/11. All right.
all right.
All right, so this is what we know about the movie so far. We know that the original script involved a much more like noir feeling and
Detective work.
They really wanted to show detective. He even said like over the shoulder. I don't know if he meant that like literally that a lot of the movie is going to be filmed. Like it's meant to be in the
Sounded like
perspective.
he wanted to make the Arkham
games.
City
yeah,
games,
it's exactly what
Like,
it
the Arkham
sounded
games.
and felt like. And he said
which would have been badass.
Yep.
he said it has changed a little bit, but it's still going to be that same feel.
I mean, a lot of it.
Yeah, but
Well, Detective Pikachu came out and ruined everything.
that is true. But they are now up to, I think they said 6 villains.
Yeah.
Will be in the movie.
Which that's always gone great
And-
when they have so many villains.
It's even worse though,
And none of them are Deathstroke.
Oh no!
and none of them are new.
Oh yeah, no, I've
They're-
heard they were
every
like,
single one of them is villains that have been done already.
Yeah.
well, I mean, for the like, there's
And I
they've
even
done all
think
the
they
major
said,
ones.
well, and then they said like it's more of like it's going to be two main villains who are going to be
Penguin.
Catwoman and Penguin.
Mhm.
And then tertiary, which is going to be Riddler, Bane,
Mhm. Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, and who was the 6th? Shit.
I don't remember.
Yeah, good eye.
Lady
Poison
Shiva?
Ivy, maybe.
No, I don't remember. Anyway, now they did tease.
Two-Face?
No,
Mm.
Joker.
they say Riddler.
Yeah, Riddler is the tertiary.
Joker was not in it. I don't know.
I don't remember who did it. There's a 6th villain that
I don't know.
was stupid.
But I mean,
Which
there've been
stupid.
like a couple like musings of people who could be involved.
Joe's got to be fucking pissed.
Yeah, I mean, unless he is the 6th and he's still signed as Deathstroke, but who knows? Honestly, at this point, the kid who played Doctor Doom in the newer Fantastic Four.
I want to say the bad one, but the badder one. Yeah.
I'm still confused with which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's been like said to be signed on. Josh Gad. Do you guys know Josh?
I know who Josh Gad is.
He's the voice of Olaf. He was in Book of Mormon. Well, that's kind of anyway. He has tweeted. I think it said like "good night" with a K and then like a penguin emoji, and people are like,
Yeah, that makes sense. That he'll play Penguin.
they're like, is he actually Penguin? So like, there's a lot of shit up in the air with that, and nobody really knows like what is
Penguin though, like.
Yeah. The thing is, the Penguin.
Fuck, man! Like the Penguin's not fun. He's just a mobster that he's
exactly
from one of the bigger families in Gotham.
The thing is, I am really curious because to me, like the stories in the games, and mind you, these games are hours and hours and hours, like over 10 hours long. Like you can make it work with multiple villains, especially if you're moving in a detective manner where he goes to the first stop. And he's like, maybe it's the Riddler. And he does like some shit with the Riddler. You get a good scene with the Riddler. All right, it's not the Riddler. And he moves on. And, he finds Catwoman. They, bang in a street alley somewhere, surrounded by a bunch of cats.
Do you know who's pegged to play Catwoman?
Do I want to know?
Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why? Why do they have to fuck Batman? Like, why is it every Batman movie has to be fucked?
I don't. My big thing with this right now is there are way too many fuckboys out there that are like giving all this shit about like, oh, I don't want a sparkly Batman. Like, if you're looking at Rob Pattinson's like entire career and all you know is Twilight, then
no, he's
you obviously don't realize how good of a fucking actor he is.
He can play a vampire. He can die in 9/11. That's about it.
He can be a Hufflepuff. And everyone knows how much we all
can die there too. He dies in everything.
He's gonna die in this. Yep. Wait.
Oh no.
But my biggest hope, honestly, is
this movie doesn't get made.
Yeah.
Is that this is not necessary because they're still gonna need a Batman because I still think that they want to do more Justice League movies. They're gonna need a Batman. And I'm really hoping that he's actually going to be Dick Grayson. This is going to be like, because Ben Affleck said he found a cool way to get out of it. And I don't know, maybe he's going to get
sent. He ripped up his contract and walked away.
His cool way is that he gets like beamed by Darkseid and gets sent back through the eras.
Oh my God.
God damn it, Grant Morrison.
Like, honestly, I just don't care.
Yeah, I'm not raring for a Batman movie. Like, the games are good, the comics have been good, so like I'm not really raring for a because I know it's gonna be bad.
For me, as a fan of Batman villains, I'm excited to see what this becomes.
But you've seen what happens to the villains when they have multiples of them. They're all terrible.
I don't know.
Spider-Man 3.
I don't know.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but that's like 10 years ago. Like, everything's changed now. People they know the formulas. They know, it's not 10 years ago. Don't do the math.
Amazing Spider-Man?
15 years ago. Oh, Amazing Spider-Man. I thought you were saying Spider-Man 2, like with Tobey Maguire.
No. So Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3, yeah.
But then also Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also had multiple villains. That didn't end well either.
It had like a villain and a half because they didn't even fucking do anything with Rhino and they still ruined him.
Yeah. And again, I know like the Russos are fucking gods of writing and stuff, but like that had like all the Avengers movies have multiple heroes and even like the Guardians of the Galaxies, like James Gunn is multiple heroes, multiple villains.
With, like the one dude. And went forward with that.
I think it's possible.
And they always have to chuck an origin story with Batman because no one knows what that fuck that is anymore.
Yeah, I think they got away from the origin story with Spider-Man. I have faith in Matt Reeves because I do like Matt Reeves much better than Zack Snyder, or I do like Ben Affleck as a director. But
I think I'm more pissed about the selections of villains that they did than anyone playing them.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you just got
bad villains.
Then if you want better villains, you just got to go watch the fucking Suicide Squad 2 movie with King Shark and Polka Dot Man.
To me, it's not even, it has nothing to do with who's directing it, who's writing it. It's just the fact that it's a DC movie. Yeah. It's the fact that they can't get out of their own way. So regardless of who's behind it, they're going to ruin it somehow.
But we're saying this not thinking about their last 3 movies, which I'll say last 2 movies and then Wonder Woman skipping over Justice League have been nothing but hits. Like Shazam, people fucking loved. Aquaman was amazing, and Wonder Woman was good.
You're the only person I've heard say that, but okay.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I've heard Shazam's good.
I've heard a ton of people that loved Aquaman.
Aquaman's been iffy, but not anything crazy. Wonder Woman got
Wonder Woman's
really
great.
good reviews.
Yeah.
And Shazam because it was more of a comedy than just like the standard storyline.
Yeah, but I think if they can move in the direction that they were originally going with that noir and focusing more on the detective side and actually getting into Batman's head, not Bruce's head, but like Batman's head, because they are Bruce Wayne is his alter ego. You know, like Batman is who he is, and that detective work and everything. Like if we can get that, and if I can basically just get Arkham City the game, like I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be a happy camper.
I'm hoping for the best, but Christ, there's so many villains. So moving on to some more new news. Dom, you got some Apple news? This would be great.
Yeah, so I'm sure we talked about it at some point. Every MacBook since like 2010 has had problems with their keyboards over and over and over again because they invented their butterfly keyboards, so they're like the low touch.
I hate them.
I hate them too because not only they're uncomfortable, but the main reason that you would think that they invented them was to be quiet. You know, keep the noise down.
They are not.
They are not quiet, and
they're louder than my mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, the worst sound in this entire world is when you're on a Skype call or something with somebody who's typing on a fucking Mac. That thumping is the worst thing I hate it so much.
Yep. It's always like nails or something too.
Can you go on
so
mute?
Just like,
yeah, it's so obnoxious. And every Mac makes the same sound, and every single person who's typing it makes the same goddamn keystrokes. Yeah. And I hate that sound more than anything. Mm-hmm. So every, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, they reinvent the butterfly keyboard because the last version sucked. And lo and behold, the new version sucks. Every single time it has the same problem. The new version of the
Macs have sucked recently too.
Yeah, the touchscreen bar and everything no one liked. I think they're going back on that.
Like changing out USB to just USB-C.
That was stupid.
When other things in their product lines don't use USB-C.
Yep, they all use Lightning.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a headphone jack in the computers also, but not
the iPhones.
Any of the other stuff they sell.
But I do think the new iPhones, they were supposed to move to
they
USB-C.
were, but they decided against it.
Yeah.
The iPhone X was supposed to be USB-C.
Yeah. Because then you wouldn't be able to, buy a fucking. You'd have to buy a cable from someone else.
They give you a cable anyway, and I'm at the point where I'm on my 4th iPhone, so I have 20 fucking cables.
Yeah, but they shred like a fucking butter.
Yeah. So
not the one I bought off Amazon.
Because it wasn't sold by Apple.
They're being very insistent that
they fixed everything.
Yeah, that they fixed everything. That the issues with the butterfly keyboard in the past have been few and far between, but. Ask anybody. They're not few and far between. Every person who has a Mac, not every person, I'm exaggerating, but seriously, I would say probably the majority of people who have had a Mac have had the exact same fucking problems with them. The keys get stuck, so you hit a key and it just repeats the letter, or you hit a key and it doesn't do anything. Every iteration of this butterfly keyboard has had the same problems, and they keep changing it and making it better, and it doesn't do anything.
Nope.
I just feel like ever since Steve Jobs passed away, that Tim Apple is just not going to stand up to he's just not pushing anything anymore. At least
it doesn't seem like there's an overall idea for all the it feels like all the departments are just kind of scattering to find
it doesn't seem like they have a philosophy of innovation anymore.
Yeah,
they have a philosophy of just we're going to do whatever we do.
Yeah,
we're going to see what happens,
and then the other departments don't talk to each other. So now you have Macs that have certain features and iPhones with other features, and they don't work with each other.
No. And plus, we're moving into an era where a lot of companies are really starting to blend with each other and play with each other. I mean, look at Microsoft and Sony, you know, which I think we're gonna get to or not. No,
nope,
we're not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Microsoft and Sony, but even thinking about from a developer's point of view, when it comes to building apps, everything runs on different shit now, but there are so many different frameworks out there that I can write for one thing. I can make an app, and that app can run on multiple devices, but it's still so difficult to get onto Apple's framework. They just don't play well. They don't.
Yeah. They make
it costs a fuck ton of money. They take a fuck ton of money from you.
And that's the funny thing is they go out of their way to make it difficult for you and then charge you more money to use their products. It's what?
And
What
especially
benefit is
looking
there
at
here?
everything they've been doing with Spotify, like that's really shitty. What they because of iTunes, Apple Music coming out, they basically told Spotify like because you Spotify worked around and they offer their subscription service through their website, but you can't do it through the app because if you do it through the app, then Apple gets a cut, and Apple didn't like that, so they said it was against their terms of service and are basically like telling them like you need to change this or you're not going to be allowed to sell your app on the iPhone anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah. So they're not making money. They're trying to double dip. You know, they have their own service and they're trying to get money from Spotify as well because Spotify is, in my opinion, much better. But the people who actually still have
Apple
music
goes through iTunes, and iTunes is
A piece of shit.
the worst fucking program in the world.
Yeah,
Yep.
I hate it.
I'd rather deal with AOL from back in 1999.
Yep.
I signed up for Apple Music one time. I did like a 3-month
I
trial
did it too, yeah.
because they had exclusive rights to all the Beatles songs.
Yep.
And nobody else could do it because they were part of Apple Music. And then my trial expired and I was like, nope. And then like 2 months later, the Beatles went to Spotify. So I was like, guess I'm never buying Apple Music
Yes.
ever again.
I use Google Music.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with Taylor Swift.
Taylor
She was
Music.
like, I'm going to sign exclusively with Apple Music because Spotify, like, abandons small, bands and doesn't give them money.
What it really
and now
came
she's
down
on
to,
Spotify.
Yeah,
again.
well, what it really boiled down to is she wasn't getting enough money from Spotify,
Yeah,
so she went to Apple Music and then realized that she was making even less money there and came back to Spotify.
But they signed a deal where basically, I'm sure they said, like, we'll give you something if you, talk
Probably.
out about this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she comes from big money, so I mean,
I'm sure she got like a signing bonus or something.
Yeah, but I seriously think if Tim Cook doesn't start innovating again, I think Apple's going to be back to where it was in the 90s.
it's fallen behind.
Before the iPod.
It's definitely falling, but I don't know. People
It's
are
folding phones, guys.
Yeah,
that's the next
future.
step.
Foldable
Samsung
phone.
did
Yeah.
so well with the fold
I don't see the iPhone going anywhere.
No, I agree with that, but
because it's stalled out. It's
Yeah.
just gets a little bit better than the last one.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
I
nothing
mean,
new about it.
I could see them eventually just becoming a phone manufacturer,
yeah,
but it's just like there's a couple things like, people for some reason people love graphic design and stuff on a Mac. I don't
Which I don't
understand why.
understand.
It's the same thing.
but even still, the amount of money that you spend, because you're going to be using Photoshop. Photoshop eats up your fucking resources like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to boost your RAM. You're going to need to get a better processor. You're going to be spending at least $2,000 on a.
You're probably going to get the Mac
on an
Pro,
iMac,
which
yeah.
is like $4,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking ridiculous.
The only thing I will give it is that Final Cut Pro is a great program. It's
Yeah.
way better than Adobe Premiere, and it's exclusive to Mac. And
Yeah,
I think that's stupid. If they made it Mac and Windows, they'd probably make a lot more money.
yeah.
But I guess that's on them. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, these keyboards are fucking stupid. They're not going to fix them.
no,
No,
they're not. They're never.
they have some program-
It's because there's not enough movement in those keys
Yeah.
that anything gets under there. It's done.
Mhm. So they started a program where they're offering replacements, and now
for the Wiimote straps.
for the Wiimote straps. They're offering replacements
condoms?
up to a certain like time limit. So they extended their.
They
it's
start
like
now and end now.
It's like I think it's like 4 years from the purchase date.
Okay.
So they've extended it all the way back to like their 2010 and 2012 models, which makes no difference because anyone who purchased them is out of that time frame anyway.
Yeah.
And you have to bring it to an Apple store. Then the Genius Bar, I'm gonna put Genius in quotes,
There
has
is,
to.
yeah, I don't even think the Genius Bar actually exists anymore.
I don't think
I'm
it
pretty
does.
sure they just stand around, at least not in our mall.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 people in there.
Yeah, they have to verify that the keyboard is defective, and then I think they send it out. I don't think they fix it in store.
No,
and
I
it's
don't
just
think they fix anything in store anymore.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. They either
send it
replace it or they bring it in the back and smash the back of my iPod in and then blame me and say that I broke it.
Yeah, you fuck.
I'm never gonna get over that.
It's just weird to like walk by an Apple store and just see like the amount of people that are in there in like a Wednesday afternoon.
Well,
And
yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah.
packed with people, and then at our mall at least, that one near us, the Microsoft store is across the way from it.
Yeah, there's no one
and
in
it
there.
is tumbleweed.
Yeah.
There's like 12
But-
people in
Yeah,
there working.
tell people working
And
and a
it's
random
tumbleweeds.
10-year-old playing the
Yeah.
VR thing.
Yep.
But 85% of the people in the Apple store aren't doing anything. They're just playing with the
Yeah,
playing with the
right.
iPads, playing with the phones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Right.
also, like, to schedule time to meet with someone.
Oh, yeah,
You
it's-
have to take a slot
Yeah.
wherever you can get one.
Yep. And then they might not even honor that. I've scheduled something and then gone there and they've been like, no, we can't fit you in. And I'm like, I literally scheduled this.
Yeah. No,
They
it
don't
works
care.
half the time.
Yep.
So if you have an old Mac, dump it in the river.
Yeah, seriously.
So maybe you can get your butterfly keyboard fixed. But
Probably not,
probably
though.
not. So I got some news. So Baltimore, they've been having some problems.
When has Baltimore ever
Not
not
had
had
problems.
So 2 weeks ago, Baltimore's
I mean, the Orioles, am I right, guys?
Yeah, they're so good, right?
Baltimore government computers, about 10,000 of them, were subjected to ransomware.
Fucking
All
love it.
right, government products being super secure. So the people that did the ransomware are now want $100,000 worth in bitcoins
I fucking
because
love
bitcoins are
it. Why is that still a thing?
untraceable.
But yeah,
Because you can't trace. It's not like a credit card or a bank account where you can trace.
Right.
There has to be a name somewhere that exists where bitcoins can be anything. And so, like several other cities in the last 2 years, they're refusing to pay up. So now Baltimore is now scrounging around with apparently like the top people in the tech industry, quote unquote, from the mayor. They're scrounging around to try to see what they can do.
The mayor went to the Apple store at the mall and picked the best geniuses he could find.
This is coming from last year where the city's 911 system was out for about a day,
yeah. God.
which is even worse.
But that was only a day. This is like 2 weeks
This
now.
is 2 weeks now, and there's probably no end. They're
This
most
is-
likely going to have to
They're gonna have to-
replace everything.
Yeah, well, it's affecting real stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say
like
affecting
people
real
aren't
stuff,
able to pay taxes. They're not able
Right.
to pay for water bills, electric bills, stuff like that.
that's what's going to hurry this along so that it actually gets resolved.
Yeah. People have to pay stuff.
The fact that the state can no longer make money, people are going to be, they're going to be
yeah.
pissed. So they're going to make this work.
And usually common targets are like hospitals and schools and stuff, but a lot of the hospitals are private paid, or you have schools that have a little bit more funding or try to stay up to current with stuff. But with government facilities, if you've ever like actually seen the computers that government workers work on,
pathetic.
it's from like the 1980s. They're all still working on like XP and 898. Like it's incredibly sad to see what they're actually working with, and it's why that these people go after these things.
Really
now.
fucking easy.
Yeah, it's really easy to just destroy these computers.
Now, the only thing that I thought was stupid that they did, you saw how much money they asked for?
Yeah, $100,000 in Bitcoin.
That's nothing.
Oh yeah, no, that's nothing.
This is probably a group of people. What are they going to make? Like, let's just say there's 10 people. You can make 10 grand each. It was really worth $10,000. Come on.
To like fuck hundreds of thousands or millions of people.
And when they eventually get caught, they're going to prison for a long fucking
yeah,
time.
they are.
This is the government.
Over $10,000.
This is a ransomware called Robinhood. Apparently, it makes it impossible to access a server without a digital key that only the hackers have.
Wow.
So it literally locks you out of your system.
It's pretty awesome.
There was a note that threatened if you didn't pay the 13 bitcoins in 4 days,
They'll kill your dog.
they say the information would be lost that were on the servers and stuff. So they were trying to like push them to pay up.
Shouldn't that have been like one of the final stages? Because once it's lost, like, where do you go from there? You go nowhere. You already lost my data.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sorry. The note threatened to increase the ransom if it wasn't paid in 4 days.
Okay.
And then their information would be lost if they wasn't paid in 10 days.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And both deadlines have passed. because,
Obviously.
Of course. So they officially are saying we're not paying this. Of course not. You know,
We're
blah, blah,
not
blah, blah, blah.
gonna pay it.
The mayor of Baltimore, who's been in office less than a month, which
Uh-oh.
that fucking sucks, said that they're engaged leading industry cybersecurity experts who are on site 24 hours working with us, and the FBI is also involved.
What a coincidence that he's been in there less than a month and this has already happened. I wonder how much of that 13 bitcoins he's getting.
Boom! They did not offer a timeline of when the systems will be back up and running. There was a similar attack using the same type of hack, the Robinhood in Greenville, North Carolina in April. They didn't wind up paying, and
The
they are still
expensive city of Greenville, North Carolina.
They are still working to get their systems restored. It's costing. They said that it's costing about $17 million.
Means cost the taxpayers.
Yeah, it's cost the taxpayers $17 million to replace all these systems.
And that's what kind of bothers me is that, with all the money we pay in taxes, you can't even get better computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me? Because like, it's not just that we give you money, but we give you money to make sure that our money doesn't disappear.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And you're not even doing it.
So also Atlanta was apparently hit as well. In
Nobody cares about Georgia.
They were hit for a $50,000 Bitcoin ransom. And they also probably end up costing about $20 million to fix all of their computers and shit. Because it's literally you're locked out of your computer. It won't connect to anything.
Yeah.
It's
So
a server issue.
Your bullshit. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Instead of you paying $50,000, now you're paying $20 million taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like
What a good deal.
And it's not like people not paying has stopped this attack. This is one of like 50 attacks in the
It
last
happens
2
all
years.
the time.
Maybe this is like an Andy from The Office kind of situation. They got those broke ass computers, so
Yeah.
they just like are clicking on every email that they can to try and
Sticking some baloney in the CD drive.
so to get those new computers.
Or what was it? IT Crad, where it's like, I haven't seen this since the 90s.
I love that show.
The internet.
If this was a horse, I would have shot it in the face. Yeah, that's not like 10,000 government computers. You'd think the government is on top of security, since we all bitch and moan about, higher level officials using their own personal email
right.
for stuff.
Yeah.
But
Your own if they're using Gmail, it's probably more secure.
yeah, they're most likely more secure using Gmail than they are their own shit, because it's
ridiculous.
all old. It's they don't use they don't hire the best of the best, because the private sector will pay way more than
The
public.
the thing is, this is also, I don't say it's like, I mean, it is local. It's a lot of these are local governments or state governments. When a lot of like, I think those resources for when it comes to cybersecurity go into like making sure our electric grids and like our air traffic control is protected.
Yeah.
Because if somebody gets into that shit.
Places with also with a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
Where local governments don't have that kind of resource. So they've got to pay for people to work the admins. They pay for, a bulk amount of computers, but they're from 10 years ago. Yeah. It's shitty all over. But hopefully Baltimore gets their shit together and maybe replaces all that shit.
Do you really think they will?
No, seeing as how, the year before they got their 911 hacked.
Yeah.
So
TJ, you better get on these Twizzlers. They're almost gone.
People are fucking psychotic.
I have a tummy ache.
So moving on to the last announcement, some Geek on Geek Off. I've got some D&D stuff that we talked about with Sam last week.
Who?
All the announcements that they finally revealed. You fucking loud bastard. They released 4 new books, a bunch of games, box sets, stuff like that. So the new storyline, which is the first book, is Baldur's Gate: Descent into the Avernus, which is literally, from what I read, there is a angel fell from heaven, more or less. And she is pretty much just like trying to take over one of the level of hells.
I like it.
And it's through Baldur's Gate, and it's nuts. It's a storyline to go from levels 1 to 13. The lead designer, Adam Lee, describes it as the Gotham City of Sword Coast, which is
nice.
the whole coast of that area.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's
hopefully not the movie version of Gotham City.
No.
Okay.
Because the Sword Coast ends up with, Waterdeep, Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate. These are some of the biggest cities in Faerun, which is the continent. And this will be awesome to see. Yep, super nerd. You're pretty much be starting. It's pretty much like the opposite of Waterdeep, where it's like very bustly and there's a lot of
busty
market stuff and changing of coin. This is like, it's dark. There's fucking, you're dealing with the 9 hells. You're dealing with
There's some
This
dude dressed
this-
as a bat.
This angel that got thrown out of heaven because she literally was just like,
'Cause she was too cool.
it's pretty much like being too good at her job, more
Yeah.
or less. She was just like, I want to smote the unfaithful and shit, and whatever
See, we
God
liked
she was.
your
God just
resume
like, calm
behind.
down.
She was like, yeah, you gotta come down a little
We
bit.
liked your resume, but we think you're a little overqualified.
Yeah.
a little doing it.
How could it be overqualified?
overdoing it. There's
We're a
also
small
going
business
to be,
here. We can't really afford to pay you what you're looking for.
There's also going to be a cover by Hydro 74, which did the special edition covers for the box set, which I'm definitely going to hop on. But that is also a game store exclusive. So you have to go to a game store to get that cover. So that's going to be awesome. There's also going to be a maps and miscellanea kits that Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. It comes with like maps for the book itself. That comes with special dice. It comes with like stat sheets for all the NPCs and stuff. It's pretty much like the extras that you don't want to like tear out of the book or have to redraw
I
and
like that.
stuff
That's
or go
awesome.
searching through the book. And then also they announced a D&D Essentials kit, which is kind of like the starter kit, but for character creation.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
So it's like the basics of, I think it's 64 pages. They said in this box. It's all also comes with dice, and basic. It's like a basic player's handbook, more or less.
That's pretty
They only
cool.
go over like 3 or 4 of the classes and a bunch of some of the races, but they give you the basics of like you can go from level 1 to 6 with this knowledge,
That's pretty cool.
which is pretty cool. Like it's great for new players if they don't want to play.
Yeah.
If
I
you
like
don't want you don't want to deal with the starter kit that just gives you characters. So you can actually make yours without having to dive fully into the books.
it's interesting to me because like I feel like D&D keeps opening itself up to be more available to more people.
Yeah.
Which is like the opposite of what a lot of things do. Like version 1 was available, but we like really narrowed it down to like, only pro players are playing this. They're like the complete opposite. Like version 1, it was like, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And now it's like anyone can start playing.
I think they're really capitalizing on how popular it's gotten, especially after things like Critical Role and the Adventure Zone got really big.
And now
drew
like
a
there's
lot of people.
so many like of those.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
D&D. If you go on Twitch and go look at D&D stuff, it's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Even YouTube has it too. The book will include the Essentials kit will include a 64-page rulebook that helps players create characters from level 1 to 6 on 4 classes: cleric, fighter, rogue, and wizard, and also the bard they added. It also includes a new adventure written by Chris Perkins, who is a major writer.
He's a god of D&D.
Called
And Perkins. Literally
Dragon,
my favorite
Dragon of
person.
the Ice Spire Peak. He's also one-armed. Weird.
Interesting.
It's weird to see. So like it's very like the Phandalin, the first starters kit. So and then it gives you combat cheat sheets, some magic items, conditions, just information that usually have to go through a whole player's handbook.
Yeah.
Where this is very like quick and easy. It also adds in a one-on-one rules variant. So if you just have a DM and a player,
That's
and it adds in a variant
for
rule that,
like side. I bet that's really good for like side quests.
yeah,
and
if-
just
or
like
you have
one-offs.
a character, you have someone that wants to join your game, but you want to kind of have them go on their own quest before they join the main group.
Actually give them a reason to join the group.
Yeah,
That's
not
awesome.
just like
that's really good.
They just jumped in. I when I first played, we had a guy come in later on, and he did a one-on-one with DM to like make up some backstory, also backstory stuff. You can do that. But there's also, they're adding sidekick rules so it's not just one-on-one and it's just like one guy fighting a bunch of monsters. It's, it's almost like 2 DMs almost facing each other.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. That will cost $24.99.
That's not too bad.
No, that's not bad.
I feel like usually everything's like $60.
Yeah, the books are usually 60.
Yeah.
This comes with it comes with the rules handbook, the fucking a whole new adventure, a dice, 2 D20s and 4 D6s. It comes with this new one-on-one variant, which is awesome. There's also if you've ever played the Dungeon Mayhem card game. I don't know if you've ever played it. They're coming out with a Battle for Baldur's Gate expansion. There's also going to be a Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty that
Oh, God.
we showed.
Yeah.
We talked about last week. That will be coming out as well. That will be for up to 5 players from levels 1 to 3.
Shoddy Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Oh boy.
Will that come out before the show premieres?
No.
is
Show
it-
comes back in November.
November, I think. I remember.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't say released earlier this year.
Okay.
But it doesn't say exactly when. So I'm excited to see this. And then they showed off more of the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which is all water.
Yeah,
sea-based
that's really awesome. 'cause
combat,
there's
which
all
is
that
pretty
added like
badass.
boat stuff.
Yeah, I really just want to do fucking just
Boat
pirating.
battles, yeah.
Yeah, you can literally be pirate. You can make a whole fucking campaign of just pirates, which will be great.
Yeah.
But this is great stuff for new players. Great stuff for the older players. And it's the Descent arc, which is usually the 3-book arcs that they do. So this is the beginning of it. So it'll be nice to see what they do after this one, because it's 1 through 13. So the next one will be 14 through 20.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because it's usually a 3-thing book. So I don't know. Was it 14 through 17 and then 17 through 20?
Maybe.
Yeah.
14 to
Fucking Christ.
19 and then 19 to 20.
Well, I'm excited to see what's new in D&D. And if you haven't checked out any of those live streams that they did last weekend, go check them out. The fucking list of people that were on there was fantastic. So go check that out.
Sweet.
So
And
excited.
I'm just going to say let's not talk about Game of Thrones this week. We said we were going to talk about it and wrap it up once the season's over. Maybe we'll give it another week to process and we can talk about it next week.
Or just not talk about it.
Or just not talk about it at all. No, I think I think it deserves talking about.
All right.
There's
Just
things.
gotta talk about it as a grander whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Not just what happened to us.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, not just the final season, but the whole show in general.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that next week. So go get ready for that. Go catch up if you need to. So that's all for us this week. Don't forget to check us out on genfailcast.com. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at genfailcast. Like and subscribe to us on Twitch and YouTube. And if you like what you've heard from us, consider leaving us a review on iTunes. And reach out with any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss. And we'll discuss them on air right here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go for it. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
I got a tummy ache.
You ate all those Twizzlers. Here's